The Electoral Commission of Namibia (ECN), in a letter to registered political parties, addresses Article 47 of the Namibian Constitution, noting that Section 77 of the Electoral Act excludes remunerated members of the public service from nomination on a list of candidates for the National Assembly, and thus gives such persons an ultimatum on whether to resign from their positions in order to be candidates for the National Assembly. The RDP, NUDO and PDM political parties have come out against this enforcement of the Constitution, stating that it's being misinterpreted.
So you cannot read one version of the Constitution without also reading the other version of the Constitution. You have to read it both. Chapter 3 gives you right as a citizen to be voted into power. Now, the mere fact that you are in a certain position does not really preclude you from going into another position. So that provision is discriminatory and it must be done away with, even if it happens to that the Constitution must be amended in order to make sure that you only resign once you are elected into Parliament. I think the crafter of the Constitution were trying to prevent that you don't receive two salaries at the same time. Now, when do you receive these two salaries? If I'm a local councillor like now, I can only receive a second salary once I am inaugurated and taken oath of office at Parliament. So that is the time when I have to resign. That is my argument as far as that article is concerned. I cannot resign prior to being elected into Parliament, because in the interim, if I'm number 10 or 16 on that list and I don't make it to Parliament, now it means that now I have messed up my life here because I have resigned. I cannot go back to that job, yet I'm not elected into Parliament.
NUDO's Joseph Kawandenge called on lawmakers to amend the provisions of Article 47 of the Namibian Constitution as it conflicts with Chapter 3 of the Constitution, which guarantees every citizen the right to vote and to be voted into power. Kawandenge further blamed the ECN for not raising the issue before previous elections. PDM's Manuel Ngaringombe questioned the purpose of the crafters of the Constitution and urged the ECN to reconsider its interpretation of the law.
We are urging ECN, we are demanding from ECN to read the law right and to save the democratic right of those members on the list. Because otherwise you are telling me public servants and other office bearers like the regional councillors and local councillors are not having the democratic right to be political leaders. They can only be voters, they can only be there, but they can't. So how do you deprive people from their right of expression, from their right of association, from their right? The same Constitution says Namibians, every Namibian have a right to be elected in a political office, to be elected in the National Assembly, to be elected in the regional council. Now you're telling me that the Constitution is contradicting that, because they are in the office bearers already, they cannot be there. How do we say that the Constitution is contradicting itself? ECN is not there to tell political parties how they should run their internal affairs. This is from political parties to do the right thing. For example, in PDM, if Honorable Semba today is elected as a member of Parliament, he will resign as a local authority councillor. If myself, I was a local authority councillor in Walvisbay municipality for 6 months. Then I was elected as a Secretary General. Immediately, with immediate effect, I resigned from the local authority and I became an SG. So I could have been an SG and a local authority councillor member, but in our party, we are very efficient. So I have to go, when I go up, I have to step out and another Democrat or another countryman must come in.
SWAPO Secretary Sophia Shaningwa submitted 96 names for Parliament at ECN, also announcing that 17 members on the list were affected by Article 47, of which only Francina Kahungu withdrew her name and the rest resigned with the hope of going to Parliament.